That's your remote control thing.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming and attending our open house for Main Street. My name is John Van Stiptonk. I am a member of the Wayne Rotary Club and have been for the past 18 years. And one final pitch for Rotary in 2014, when Main Street really got going, the Rotary Club committed $50,000 over a 5-year period to Main Street, and happy to say that we have continued to honor that commitment, and this year is the last year of that contribution to Main Street. So tonight we want to share information with you about Wayne Main Street, what it does, and what you can do to help make a difference in your community. You'll be hearing from a few speakers, and at the end you'll have an opportunity to ask questions as well as meet some of the dedicated folks who are so committed to the Main Street projects. Also like to take a couple of minutes to, would you take a few minutes to complete our volunteer assessment form, and if you complete it, it will be entered into a drawing for a gift certificate to Helium. Now my notes say that it's a $15 gift certificate, but lo and behold, it has escalated to be now $55 through some generous contributions at the last minute. So, well, that got your attention, eh? So please, if you would, complete the form for us. And are we doing the drawing this evening also? It'll be announced tomorrow. Okay. So without further ado, our first speaker is our Mayor, John Rasa, and he'll have a few words to say.
Thank you, John. I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. This is a super important thing for our community, and your participation tonight is appreciated. Volunteering is just so important to our community, and we need as many people as that can help. Everybody that can help and make a difference will make a difference in our community. This has been something that's been on my heart for a long time. I actually ran for council because I was part of the ripple effect in the beginning stages and wanted to make sure that we started looking at making our downtown a priority. But it takes volunteers to make that happen. The city's going through all of its different financial trials and struggles, and things are improving, but we're not there yet. But when I got on, I knew that that was the situation. But I didn't feel we could just not work on our downtown. I felt if we were doing these things at the same time, hopefully when the city gets things straightened out and Main Street's working on the downtown, these things are going to collide at some point, and we're going to be even further ahead than we were years past. And I know in the last few years, I mean, you can tell there's a difference. Our downtowns, people talk about it again. It's something that you didn't, when we first started, that it just was something that just got kind of forgotten. And I think we forget that our downtown is the heart of the community. That's the heartbeat of the city, and that's where we got to start working on. I found this quote today that I thought was really appropriate. It's by Elizabeth Andrew, and it's, volunteers do not necessarily have the time, they have the heart. And that's what we need, is you to be the heart and start helping beat in our community again. So thank you for coming out tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor. Also, thank you, Ms. Kelly Skiff, Tom Porter, and where is he? There you are. Anthony Miller, members of the City Council for attending. I lost you in the crowd, Tony. Our next presenter, a few words from a board member of Main Street, Paul Posite. Right, Paul? Close enough. Sorry if I messed it up. It's not as bad as Van Stipdunk.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'd like to thank the Mayor, John Risa, for representing the City of Wayne in his comments tonight. I also want to thank the City of Wayne for letting us host this event in City Hall. And I would like to thank the City Manager, Lisa Norcella. Oh, no. Yep. And a special thanks to Jeff Martin for helping us with the technology and recording of this. So you will be on TV, so you're all stars, so that's kind of cool. I also want to thank all of you, because without you, this would not be able to happen. Main Street, Wayne Main Street is all about the volunteers. So the concept of bringing people just like you together in a meeting exactly like this is really what Wayne Main Street is all about. Our organization is first and foremost a grassroots organization. Excuse me. By grassroots organizations that is run by volunteers and by businesses such as are represented here with Helium Studios and others to make a difference. It's truly amazing about Wayne Main Street is that it relies on volunteers to lead and contribute to each project we undertake. And those projects lead to positive things happening in our downtown. What I'd like to share with you tonight is a bit more about our history as an organization, our success, and the projects we undertake. Finally, I would like to let you know about some developments that have happened at Wayne Main Street this year. You may know this, but Wayne Main Street began as Wayne Ripple Effect in 2011. Our group came together believing that even a small change can have a reverberating impact on our community. But other important things and milestones happened in 2011. There was a royal wedding. Prince William and Kate Middleton were married on April 29th. Taylor Swift joined Instagram. She now has over 114 million followers. And the undisputed song of the year was Adele's Rolling in the Deep. So somewhere between following Taylor Swift on Instagram and hoping that Adele would sing Kate Middleton down the aisle at Westminster Abbey, we found time to form this amazing group. In 2014, we were officially recognized as a Main Street community and changed our name to Wayne Main Street. And to summarize for you guys, being a Main Street boils down to the fact that Wayne has a unique and historic downtown, and that by bringing together resources from the state and the people, power we have here in our city, we transform downtown Wayne into a vibrant district with shops, restaurants, and events. So how do we do that? What are some of the ways that we put into practice the idea of making downtown Wayne better? We do it by putting together projects and events in our district. And the list of accomplishments is pretty extensive, so I want to go through some and just highlight some of the projects we have done. In 2015, Wayne Main Street installed 10 benches in downtown Wayne, and we continue to maintain those. Also in 2015, we installed planters at many of the intersections in our downtown, and we update those plants seasonally. One of our larger projects has been Derby's Alley, which is located next to the former site of the GI surplus on Michigan Ave. In that space, we installed overhead lighting, seating, and we regularly do events in the alleys like our Scarecrow Show reception and the automotive contest from downtown days. We are also about halfway through the process of installing bike racks in downtown Wayne. By early spring, we will have more than 30 racks installed around downtown, which will help encourage and promote biking in our city. In terms of events, we hold an annual spring cleanup around Earth Day to help clean up our downtown. We have put together a Mother's Day event for the past 3 years. We organize Downtown Days in July, Scarecrow Show, our annual fundraiser Toast Wayne, and our events to help promote Small Business Saturday in November. And our work really does make a difference. Each year, our volunteers log more than 24,000 hours working on these projects. And I think it is a great thing about all projects I just mentioned. This isn't the city or big developers coming together and making a difference, although we do work with them. It's residences and businesses coming together to make the difference. Any of the projects I mentioned can be invited in, try that again. You can be involved in whether that's planning a project, helping out at an event, or giving some time in our offices. So in terms of who we are, Main Street has always been a grassroots group. That's what we will continue to be with your help. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. And I personally and the Rotary Club hopes that Main Street will come in and help this year with the beginning concert in the park, which is tied to the Friday, Saturday downtown days, and then for the following 8 Wednesdays, 6 Wednesdays, what do I know, right? Wants us to work more. Anyway, hopefully that they'll help us out and again contribute their time, talent, and treasure. Last year and the year before, I think on average, for those 2 years, we must have had crowds that exceeded collectively 25 to 30,000 people who enjoyed downtown Wayne. That wasn't in the script, I just thought of it, so I thought I'd throw it in. So again, thanks Paul. And Maxwell Cameron, our Executive Director for Main Street, has a few thoughts that he'd like to share with you.
You guys shouldn't be clapping yet. You don't know how I'm going to do. I just want to first start off by saying that it's really amazing to see a room full of people here tonight. That's really encouraging when we're looking at the work that we do and trying to galvanize our community and get everybody involved in our important projects. So I know Paul echoed it, but I want to thank everybody for stepping up and coming out tonight. Yeah, thank you for being here. I want to share a little bit about our volunteer opportunities, and I want to start with talking about the why of somebody would want to get involved with Main Street, and then giving you a little bit more detail about our specific opportunities. And just to kind of pick up where Paul left off, because I think it's such a unique and fascinating aspect of our organization, is this idea that with our events, with our projects, with our programs, it's our volunteers from start to finish who are responsible for planning and implementing and running all of the things that we do as an organization. It's a credit to our community that the things that we do happen. And it's I think an entirely unique experience when it's everybody in our city coming together and making that difference. And to talk a little bit about why somebody would want to get involved with Main Street, I think often when we start to do the pitch about an organization or start to think about the volunteer opportunities that are out there, we might get a little lost in the details. And in my role with the organization, I'm asked a lot to talk about our projects and our programs. And what I always say and what I always try to share with people is the reason behind the why of what we do. And you know, to get a little bit philosophical about the work that Main Street does here in the community. And it's pretty simple. At the end of the day, our organization wants to make life better in Wayne. And we're here to improve the quality of living in Wayne. We want our community and our residents to be proud of the unique city that they live in. We want our businesses to be unbelievably successful in our downtown. We want visitors to anxiously await the next opportunity to come and visit Wayne. And when you break it down to the idea of making life better in our community, who among us wouldn't want to do that? You know, you guys have come out tonight and you've already taken the first step in terms of making a commitment to hearing more and finding out more. Many people in this room have dedicated hours, if not hundreds of hours, to actually working on some of our projects. But that's what it is at the end of the day. It's about people coming together and making a difference. And so when we start from that point, right, we still have to talk about two major aspects of volunteering, which is what skills do I need and what does my time commitment look like? And I think those are two important questions that we want to take a look at tonight and give you some more detail on. In terms of skills that people that we're looking for our organization, everybody has something to contribute to the work that we do. Going back to that philosophical standpoint of why we do the work, we know that everybody can be involved on some level. Whether you have event planning experience, office experience, are handy, have a trade, know about fundraising, there is a role and a place for you at Main Street. And it goes back to the setup of our organization. Because our volunteers are involved in every aspect of the work that we do, we can always fit somebody in. And I'm going to put up here on the screen some of the things that we're looking for from volunteers, and some of the skills that we seek. And by no means is this an exhaustive list of skills that we're looking for. But more than what we're looking for, I think it's important that we talk about what we're able to give to our community as an organization. You see, part of the way we give back to the city of Wayne is by doing the events and projects. But another important way is by working with people to figure out what their personal goals in terms of growth would be. So, if you're coming to the organization interested in learning about what it means to work in an office, interested in nonprofit management, interested in what it takes to plan an event or work on our marketing, there's a role for you too. In fact, we want to be there to help you grow as an individual and achieve your goals as a volunteer with our organization. So that's another area that we have something to offer the community in terms of working with people. It doesn't matter what your skill set is. The other thing that doesn't necessarily matter with our organization is your time commitment. This is something that holds a lot of people back because we live in the modern world, and it's crazy with family commitments and work commitments, and finding some time on the weekend to do projects or socializing and having a life. That's great too. So where do you find time to do all of that and also give back to your community? And what I would say to this point is that the great thing about Main Street is that there's not a one-size-fit-all approach to your time commitment with us. If you're somebody who is able to contribute 30 minutes a month to helping us do a project or some data entry. That's great. We could use you. If you're somebody who has a lot of free time and can do a couple hours a week, that's amazing. We could use you. And so in terms of working with our organization, don't let your time commitment stand in your way. We can figure out a role that maximizes the time that you can give. And again, we want to bring people together to make a difference in our community. Whatever time you have to lend to that endeavor is definitely appreciated. As we talk here, I'm going to give you a little bit more information too about the specific opportunities with our organization, and you'll kind of see as we go through this where flexibility in terms of your skills and flexibility in terms of your time really fit within the categories of volunteer opportunities that we have. And really, our volunteer opportunities fall in one of three areas. We are currently seeking volunteers to help with our committees, so we need committee members. And some of the great things that our committees can do, it is more of an ongoing commitment to where we'd ask that you do have a couple hours a month to do meetings, to help plan every aspect of an event from start to finish. It's a great thing for somebody who wants to get in on the ground floor of, I have a great idea for our project. Let's join a committee and bring that idea forward and help us implement it, help us make our projects better. So we're definitely seeking support when it comes to adding some new committee members to our projects. The other way that you can participate with our organization is by volunteering for a specific event or program that we have. What's great about volunteering for an event is that there's a little bit more flexibility in terms of time. So events I would describe as an a la carte opportunity where you can review the events and even within the events a shift or role that you wish to undertake and sign up for that specific role. Come, do a shift, show up for a couple of hours and make an important contribution in that way. And this is where it gets really fun with our organization because there are so many different projects that we work on. And if you like to people watch, if you like to handle money, if you like to be in customer service, if you like to, we can go down the list. There is an opportunity for you. There's really an amazing amount of different roles in this particular bucket of volunteer needs that might fit for what you're trying to accomplish. And the third area that we're looking for volunteers, and this one is sort of like a hybrid in terms of time commitment and flexibility, is volunteers to help us in the office. We have a lot of office needs with our organization, whether it be helping maintain our data, so data entry and working with our database, to making telephone calls, to helping write emails, write marketing material, work on communications, and especially if you have a skill like graphic design, that's an area where we can use support too in the office. So really our office opportunities are extensive and they're very flexible. We have some office volunteers that come in regularly, once a week at a scheduled time. We have office opportunities that are more drop-in, so it's when you're available or when it suits your schedule, or seasonal even. So it's a way to do some work behind the scenes and contribute to a very important aspect of our organization. So now that you're 100% motivated to sign up for about 10 different opportunities with us, you might even quit your job so you could dedicate your life full-time to Main Street, which I definitely encourage. You want to find out more. You want more information. about the specific opportunities to get involved with us. And there's a couple of different ways that you can find out more about ways to engage with Main Street. And I want to talk about those a little bit here. The first resource I want to direct you to is our website, downtownwayne.org/volunteer. If you go there tonight, check it out. We have a list of all of the volunteer opportunities that are currently available with our organization. The screen that you'll see, and it's kind of small here, I apologize, but it generally looks like this. And the amazing thing about our website is it's sort of divided into those three sections that we just talked about. We have our committee positions posted there online. We have our event volunteer positions posted online. And then we've got a shout out to office positions and even a list of skills that we're looking for. So you can find a lot of information just by visiting our website, downtownwayne.org/volunteer. When you click on any of these links, what will happen is you're going to be directed to our Eventbrite site. And I just pulled up an example of one of the Eventbrite registrations. This is for Wayne Downtown Cleanup. So in here, you'll be able to see more information about the specific event, and you're going to actually be able to use that green button, click on it to register for participating in the event. And you know, we can even take one step back. So by clicking the button, sending us some information about yourself is really just an opportunity to say, hey, I'm interested in learning more. Because what we can do, and we will do, is reach out to you and talk about any questions that you have. If it's a specific position that requires some training, we're going to reach out and make sure that you have those skills before we send you off into a volunteer opportunity. But this is a way to let us know, hey, I'm interested in being involved. Now, I will note, just going back to our website, if you do happen to visit it, under our committee opportunities, the link out to Eventbrite works just a little bit different. So on these top opportunities here, what you'll see is in the text, it says click here to register for the opportunities. That's going to bring you to that Eventbrite site that we pulled up before. Now if you click on the specific volunteer descriptions, that's going to give you the most amount of information about that specific task. And again, this is only related to the committees, the committee roles, but those are going to actually link out to our volunteer match site. And with those, you're going to actually have to either sign in on Facebook, or if you have a volunteer match account, you can log in and view some more information. So it's kind of a comprehensive way to share information about our volunteer opportunities, because once it's on Volunteer Match, we're getting people that have just registered on Volunteer Match and happen across our organization. So it's a great opportunity for us, and we can provide a lot of detail that way too. But if you already kind of know where you're headed and what you want to do, just visit our Eventbrite site, and that way you can register and get right in contact with us. The other way you can connect with us online would be through our Facebook. We're very active Facebook users. We post a lot of information on there. We recently posted a help wanted for our Mother's Day event on Facebook with a link to the description. So visit us on Facebook, facebook.com/Wayne Main Street. We're always posting. Like us, and it's one way to be engaged with our organization. The other thing I want to point out is that when you go to downtownwayne.org/volunteer, you're going to see a couple of additional opportunities that Paul did a really good job of talking about, the ongoing events that we do and programs that we do, but we're adding some new things this year. And so I just wanted to shout those out and draw your attention to specifically 3 other projects that we have information about tonight. The first one would be our Derby's Alley events. we need people to help plan our events that we're doing this summer. Pat Hartford has been leading our Derby's Alley Game Nights events, and so we're definitely looking for people to help plan our event series for the summer for Derby's Alley. It's a great space. We need to make sure that we have a lot of programming in it. The other project that we're looking for support on is our Mural and Public Art Committee. We have the opportunity to potentially bring some public art and some murals into our downtown, and we need help with that project. So Juan Bradford is our board president. He's here tonight. He's on that committee. When we do our committee breakout, you can definitely get with Juan if you're interested, but especially if you have an arts background or a public spaces improvement background, or just more interested in the project, reach out to us, and it's a great opportunity, something new that we're doing as an organization. And then finally, I want to talk a little bit about an event that's important to us from a fundraising aspect. Our organization is a charity partner for a poker room in Westland in the Vision Lanes bowling alley on Ford Road there. And 2 times this year we're going to be doing poker nights over a weekend, once in August and once in December. And we're looking for volunteers to help us with those shifts and help staff that event. So the dates of those events are here on the board. We've got more information out tonight too, but I wanted to make you aware that that's another volunteer opportunity with our organization. The second way that you can find out more is just by contacting us. Let's skip the website and reach out to us directly. So if you have your pen and paper out, I do want to give you 2 important pieces of information. The first is my email address, director, D-I-R-E-C-T-O-R, @downtownwayne.org. That goes right to me. If you have any questions, please reach out. The other piece of information I want to share is our phone number, 734-629-6822. If there's any questions that you have, you want to find out more information, please reach out. That number rings to my cell phone. It rings to our office phone. We want to be in touch, and we definitely don't want communication to be any sort of barrier to getting involved with our organization. And finally, don't be a stranger. Our offices are located at the Wayne Historical Museum. It's one town square. It's between the 2 Michigan Avenues, right next to the First Congregational Church. We're there 5 days a week, 10 to 6 generally. The museum is open to the public Wednesdays and Thursdays. So stop in, say hello, talk to our volunteers there, or get a chance to talk one-on-one with myself. If we can't have the opportunity to meet right there and then, we can look at scheduling an appointment or finding another time that's convenient, but don't hesitate to stop by. We're a community grassroots organization. We want our community to feel that they can come and that we're accessible as an organization. So those are 2 ways kind of after tonight that you can find out some more information. But there's some things that we're going to be doing as we continue with our program tonight that's going to give you some opportunities right here to learn more about the work that we do. So after I wrap up my comments in just a minute here, we're going to do a question and answer. So if you have any general questions, please feel free to ask. And then we're also going to be breaking up, and we're going to have somebody that's involved in each of our projects here at our tables, and you can kind of grab a slice of pizza and wander over, talk to our project leaders or our current volunteers, find out a little bit more information about the specific things that we're doing as an organization. And there's sign-up sheets because we want you to sign up for as many projects as possible. And so if we go back to what I first mentioned, which is a belief in making our community better, you go on our website and you talk to our project leaders tonight, and you can't find something that fits or speaks to you. There's still so many ways that you can make a difference in Wayne. So I wanted to take this opportunity tonight, and this is by no means an exhaustive list of all of the organizations that are working to do something positive in our community. But if it's not with us, be involved with an organization that does good here in Wayne. So whether that's joining the Rotary, joining the Chamber, the Knights of Columbus, there's a number of Friends organizations. It's just a great community, and there's so many great people working to make a difference. You fit in as a volunteer and somebody helping to move Wayne forward. And finally, to kind of share some experiences that others have had, I'm going to invite 3 people up to share a little bit about what volunteering or participating with our organization has meant to them. And maybe that will also give you a little bit idea of what it means to be a part of Wayne Main Street. So before I do that, I want to thank everybody, and I'd like to invite Miss Carol Bavard up to talk about being a volunteer with us.
I am standing up, yeah, believe it or not. But being a volunteer is so important to everybody in this room for our community. And I actually lived in Washington, D.C. for 5 years. And there's a place where you don't have any problem getting any money. Can you hear me? I'd rather not use the mic. But oh, you're taping it. Okay, sorry. Okay, anyway, I lived in Washington, D.C. for 5 years. And that's a place where they didn't need any volunteers, very many volunteers. They have a lot of money there. And then when I came back to Wayne in 2012, I realized that they did need help here in Wayne, and they had formed the organization that you were talking about, Wayne Main Street. So I decided to give back to the community because I had retired. And it means a lot to me, and it was nice that Max invited me to be part of the cleanup, because my mom's German, and she's a very clean person, and this just natural thing to fit into my life. So last year we had the cleanup. We had a lot of people that came out for that and made the city look great, because I believe when people drive through Michigan or Wayne Road, that's the first thing they see. They'll see all the dirt and all the papers and all the stuff laying on the streets. So I think it's a wonderful thing when we clean it up. It looks great. So people want to come into the community because it looks like we care about our community. And we do care about our community. So it's meant a lot to me just personally. It makes me feel great. Once we get the event done and you go out and look around, it really looked great. So hopefully this year, it's planned for April 20th. I hope that you decide to volunteer for that. My table's right back there. So I hope to see you there. And who do you have? Sure, yeah.
Thank you so much, Carol. Kim, do you mind coming up and talking about your experience with Main Street?
Thank you for the opportunity. I've been given 1 minute, and so I will take all of it. In one word, Main Street signifies to me hope. Hope for our downtown. Our business, my husband and I founded Helium Studio 3 years ago, November of 2015. And the 3 organizations who, thank you, you've all supported us and we're so grateful. But the 3 organizations who contacted us first were all volunteer-based organizations. Wayne Main Street, the Rotary, and the Chamber. And all of those groups were interested in Helium Studio being successful, connecting us to resources, and hosting events that we could hook into and support our business as we grew. And we went from getting from all of these organizations to giving. And I'm thrilled to participate as a member of the DDA. I'm thrilled to support Main Street. We just worked on some annual planning with them. That's part of my background, a skill set that I had kind of set aside that I'm kind of reanimating as I can. And also working on the Fund Development Committee with Main Street. That's a new position. We'll have our first meeting just this week. And I really believe that if we want to see a yoga studio and a knitting shop and a bakery and another coffee shop, and you know what, 2 or 3 shops like Helium Studio would be great. Competition breeds success, and when groups like Main Street can execute wonderful events, keep our downtown clean, attract people to downtown Wayne, it really makes the environment a positive one and one that attracts new businesses. So that's why I'm involved, and I'll continue to be involved and grow my involvement. However I can contribute, I will. So thank you for joining the volunteer team, and thank you, Main Street.
And I finally want to invite up Gabby Klein, our volunteer, and talking about her experience with the organization.
Hello, everyone. I joined Main Street July 25th of 2018. And I've lived in the city of Wayne for 16 years, and I've never heard of it, more or less. But it really changed who I am as a person and how I think of other people. I did the concerts a lot, and I dealt with all kinds of different people from different backgrounds and races and everything. And I grew up in a very conservative home. So I wasn't really open to new ideas or kind of like exploring new ideas. So when I kind of mentioned to my parents, hey, I want to do this thing, they were like, what? We don't know about this. Well, I did it, and I told them, and they were like, well, and they started opening up their mind to new ideas and hold on. Anyways, new like plans for life, like my dad, I mean, he had a strict plan, but like once something changed, it was the end of the world. Until I started doing this thing, like Main Street, and it kind of interfered a lot with his schedule, because, you know, he drives me. So he was like, gotta change. Anyways, story going forward, it definitely helped my parents a lot too, realizing that the world isn't such a bad thing when it changes. So it definitely changed that, and I will continue to be a volunteer with them because they're so flexible with things. Like in August, I was going to do the concert, but my little 2-year-old cousin got bit by a pit bull in the face. And so I had to go to the hospital with him, and we were there all day. And I called Max, and I said, hey, I won't be at the concert, you know, this happened. And he was like the most compassionate person about it. He was like, let me know what happened, you know, and I texted him, I was like, hey, he's okay. And that's another aspect of Main Street. They're like really caring, and they don't just see you as a volunteer, they see you as a person, which most organizations don't really see you as. They kind of see you like, oh, you're a worker for us. We don't really care what goes on in your life. So I will definitely continue being a Main Street volunteer, and I really enjoy it, and I hope you do too.
Gotta unlock my Apple gizmo here. Sorry. Change is important. Just to ask a baby when you don't change the diaper to see how important change is. Okay, let's see if I can catch up on it. So now it's time to sort of begin to wrap up, but in so doing, we would like to have you do the question and answer sessions. And all of you in the audience somewhere are questioners, and there's some designated answerers. And if those designated answerers would come up here, then we can start the Q&A process. So if there's a question, please ask and I'll repeat it, and then we'll select Pat Rice to answer them.
Sorry, there's one more. Okay, he's making his way up.
Lois, do you have a question? The question is, are we doing the planters on the intersections again this year? Yeah. Great question.
Thank you, Lois. That is a great question. So we're definitely doing the planters this year. We're looking for perhaps some new partnership opportunities with that project. So if there's another organization that can help, or a couple of key committed individuals that can help manage that project, that would be great. Yeah.
You had your hand up also?
Yeah, I work for STOP.
Can you give us your name, please?
I'm Tina Davis.
Hello, Tina.
I work for STOP, and is there an opportunity for more people to volunteer with disabilities and handicaps?
Oh, great question. Is there an opportunity for people who are handicapped or disabilities to volunteer with Main Street?
Hi, Tina. Yes, absolutely. So, again, we want to create the most inclusive volunteer experience that we can. So if there are people who have disabilities, they're welcome to volunteer with our organization. Again, just reaching out and contacting us is the best way to find out about specific opportunities, and we'd more than welcome some greater partnerships with organizations like STEP. So yes.
Yes, ma'am. What is your name, please?
Lori.
Hi, Lori.
Hi. It was mentioned just a wee bit ago about the Fund Development Committee, that it's new. Can you guys go into a little bit more detail on that?
So the question is, could you give us some more details on the Fund Development Committee? Sounds like a Maxwell answer.
Yep. Hello again. Yeah, thank you for the question, Lori. As a nonprofit organization, we are starting a fund development committee this year. We're sort of piloting a committee, and we've invited a couple people to be on our committee initially. We want to see how it goes as an opportunity for people to get involved, and then kind of open it up to the public from there. But essentially, we're looking to develop some of the resources. It's kind of the other side of volunteering, is the giving resources that are available in our community. So whether that be looking at grant opportunities or sponsorship opportunities or individual giving opportunities, we can definitely do more in that realm. And so we have a couple of folks that have stepped up and wanted to be on that committee, including Kim White-Jenkins, and another member here tonight is Pat Rice. So it's something that we're trying. We'll see how it goes and keep people updated.
Any questions on parks and trails? And if there aren't any, Juan, what does that mean, parks and trails?
You know, I'm not involved with that, so...
Oh, well... I need an answerer, because I'm not sure if any of you have an appreciation for what, or understanding what parks and trails are. Can I ask you to come up here?
I don't see that on the list of committees or experience.
Wasn't it on?
No. It's another thing.
Did I make an error?
Yeah. Oh, okay. But definitely talk about it.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. The Parks and Trails Committee, what we're doing is we want to get the community involved with going in and cleaning up our parks and getting them utilized again. We're trying to clean out all the trails because there's, you know, if you look on Wayne Neighbors discussion, you're going to see all the complaints about the parks being dirty, the trails being dirty, all that stuff. So what we're trying to do is get them cleaned up, get everything to where you can go and just enjoy the parks. We want this to be, with everything else, a great family event, or letting the kids and letting the parents go back to the parks and just enjoy it and let it be safe for everybody. We're working on is it Rotary 2? Healthy Beaumont is going to just completely redo Rotary 2 for us. We're getting all new, we're going to be cleaning up of stuff. We're trying to get fundraising and different things going on so we can get new equipment for the parks and just things like that. So that is another way we're going to be asking for a lot of volunteers too. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. Sorry about that. It must be my age. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Maybe going back to the fund development. How is Main Street currently funded?
Okay, so the question is, how is Main Street funded? Sounds like a question for
Main Street is a 501(c)(3), so that when people make donations to us, they can use it on the write-off. We miss a lot of opportunities because a lot of the people in our community are older and they can't maybe volunteer, but they do have money that they could maybe give to us to help us with those projects. I mean, there's a penalty when you become 70 and a half. There's certain investments you've made that you have to cash in somewhat, and so you can put those to a financial fundraising type thing, and it can be used as a complete write-off. You don't pay taxes on it that way. Those are one of the opportunities, but we have to be able to give opportunities to all people in our community to help, whether it's a young child who comes and helps on cleanup day, whether it's a teenager who comes and helps on our cleanup day. Those are things they can do, or help planting our planters, whatever. But we need to give opportunities, and so a lot of people can't physically or are too old to physically help us, so we have to find all kinds of opportunities. As far as fundraising, we haven't really done it well, but we're going to. I mean, I think it's a real possibility. It's an avenue we haven't really stepped into much, so we need to share that with people and how to help us in other ways. So.
Thank you, Pat. Kim?
Would it be okay, as a member of the DDA, if I just add to the answer to your question? So, partly Main Street is funded by the DDA.
Hey, Kim, can I interrupt? I know you have a lovely voice, but we're also recording, so can you speak into the microphone?
Well, sure. I'll make it quick, though.
We're good.
I just wanted to mention that the DDA directly funds with an annual allocation Main Street a small portion of what they spend. There's only one paid staff person, and that's Maxwell. All of the other duties of the organization are fulfilled by volunteers. So the DDA helps, but each event raises money, and in addition there is fundraising that happens. And so some of you might have received an end of the year email, for example, saying get your donation in by the end of the year. So those are the different ways that money comes in. The DDA is the Downtown Development Authority, and we receive allocations from a portion of the property taxes that go to the county and then trickle back to the DDA. And the Downtown Development Authority has a territory, and Main Street is in part our execution arm. That's kind of how a relationship has evolved in, I'd say, the last 2 years. So the DDA will sponsor efforts that Main Street does related to Downtown Days, for just to give an example.
We, as Main Street people, thank the DDA for their contributions, but I'd like you to know Michigan Main Street is a program that's all across the United States. And in Michigan, we are one of the designated communities. We're one of the few that's not completely funded by our DDA. So we have to raise our own money because we're required to have a full-time director. That's one of the requirements of being a Main Street community. So we have to reach out to our people in some way to raise money, whether it's a fundraiser or whether it's asking them for their personal contributions.
So the question is, do we have any proposed fundraisers that you're working on at the time? Who wants to grab that answer?
Isn't Toast Wayne?
Yeah.
Toast Wayne is
Right.
There are all kinds that go on, but Toast Wayne is one of them, which is the biggest event. We'll always take personal checks, credit cards, cash, loose coins, bottle returns. Max takes all those back. When is Toast Wayne this year? September. And we're always putting our feelers out to find ways of gathering that money. So yeah, but Toast Wayne's our biggest.
Any more questions? There is comments. There's still dinner, pizza, and cookies available. So help yourself. Do you have a question? The question is, should we sign up on the list and then also do it online?
Thanks for your question. So one or the other will work. If you've already registered online, I know that we've met and talked a little bit about an event too. So don't feel that you need to duplicate. We're going to put it all into one amazing spreadsheet, and we'll get you and reach out to you either way.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I just have a quick comment. Lori Morrow again. I just want to say you guys are amazing. Everybody does so much great continuity.
Thank you. Much appreciated. That brings it to a close. So we would like to have the individuals who have a primary lead role in our projects go over there and perhaps answer additional questions over another piece of pizza and things. And the assessments. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.